All right, what's going on, everybody? Wednesday night. You know what that means? Time to talk some Canes football. Let's take a look at the chat. Greg, ever loyal, Greg Bush. What's going on, man? Yeah, so, Ocala Kane. Yo, what's going on? All right, so coming off a pretty important weekend in Canes recruiting, we just had Paradise Camp. Lots of legends got together. Canes coaches, current Canes players hosted a bunch of high priority recruits. And from what I understand, overall, it went very well. I think our stock went up with a lot of guys. I think there was even some surprises. And I think it's going to lead to some surprises down the road. You might think I'm crazy, but I will get into a couple of those surprises that I think are going to happen. What's up, Javier? What's going on, man? Beard looking ever so strong. All right, so let's get to the first thing. I just wanted to touch on, well, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys over the weekend. The Wesley Bissainthe video I put out, my opinion on the whole thing. I appreciate all the likes and the attention that it got and the comments. Please keep those coming. Hit the like button on this video as well if you haven't. And just wanted to touch on that again really quick because I got a lot of comments on both sides. For the record, I think Wes will be a Caden. And I think a lot of people are going to forget the whole throwing up the upside down U thing once he's wearing that orange and green. Because that dude is all world. He is legit. Hey, what's up, Randy? See what else is going on here. Calcan, Jaleel Skinner. Yes, that's one of the dudes I'm going to get to. And you know what? Since you brought it up, Jaleel Skinner, who those who aren't too familiar with him, he is a Canes target that's recently, he's been a target of interest for a long time because he is, depending on where you look, I believe on 24/7, he's the number one tight end in the nation. So, a lot like when we got Brevin Jordan was the number 2 or number 3 tight end in the nation, something like that, depending on where you looked. I think Jaleel Skinner has better size, freak athleticism. As David Franklin said with us on Sunday, he is that new breed of tight end that can kind of play receiver as well. You can play him all over the field. The dude is just a crazy red zone threat. And he reminds, Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki, what's the guy, Darren Waller from the Oakland Raiders? Do I have his name right? He's that mold of tight end. Max, what's going on, man? Max, I hope you're getting better weather than we are, bro, because, if I can turn this camera around, it's been pouring rain for days in South Florida. I know you're out in sunny California, so I don't think it ever rains over there. It's the other extreme. This has always been tight end U. And just to touch on, let's answer this. I skipped over this with Cal. Oh, okay. What's up, Kane Forever? What's going on? So to talk about, of course, Max bragging. To talk about Jaleel Skinner real quick. Yeah, he's one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends in the nation, hands down. And he visited Paradise Camp. And from what I understand, he was treated very well. He got to talk to a bunch of Canes legends. And I think I saw in an article, I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it was on 24/7 Inside the U on one of those, maybe State of the U. Sorry if I get the source wrong, but I read somewhere that he could not believe that David Njoku came up to him, knew his name. Michael Irvin came up to him, knew his name. So that kind of thing on a young man has an impact. You know what I'm saying? So, I think, and also he sent out a tweet right after Paradise Camp that he is going to shock the world. That was literally his tweet right after Paradise Camp. So what does shock the world mean? Is he going to pull a swerve on us and go to Florida State or something? Or is he going to shock the rest of the recruiting world who, probably most people didn't have him going to Miami? I don't know. He's an impressive talent and awesome. I really hope we land him, and I like our chances, honestly, after everything that went down in Paradise Camp and what I'm hearing out of that. So that's good. Same here, John. I'm up in Vero Beach. It's been constant rain. Yeah, the state's been getting pelted the last few days, and if you look at the forecast, it's not stopping anytime soon. Let's see. I think it's the other way around. Staff doing some big recruiting. Yes, they are. Manny Diaz was on, I think it was on QAM either today or yesterday. And he even mentioned that, yep, it's exactly what I was about to say. Max always beats me to it. It's like we share the same brain. Yeah, that Manny has admitted to having a couple other guys committed. He said, in his words, a couple other guys are committed that haven't announced yet. Now, this is a common thing. I don't know if it was a common thing in the past with recruiting. Definitely wasn't a common thing with Miami. I think they would take the FSU route, what they're doing now, and just load up on commits early and just kind of go from there and then see who sticks. And of course, along the way, some fall off. Look, the same thing to say. Yep, that's true. Same beard, that's for sure. What's up, John? What's up, Canes fam? Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I've noticed with this staff, and I think this is the right way to do it. If a guy, has a great visit and, makes the emotional decision of committing to Miami on the spot, I heard he told certain guys, hey, don't commit on the spot. Give it some time, mull it over, take your other visits, which, I think it's a great way to build that relationship with a player. And it's why players have come out and said, this coaching staff is no BS. They're a family. They mean what they say. I think that's going to pay dividends later. Maybe not so much right now, because as you can see, we only have 3 commitments. But I think building those solid relationships, you're going to have certain guys later on that are just a lock. Main event says 4 out of 4 on July 4th. Now, for those who don't know, what he means is we got a few guys. Let me pull it up here. We got a few guys that are announcing July 4th. You got Jacoby Spells. You got Isaiah Horton. You got Zane Durant. And you know what? I don't have the updated list. Max, help me out. Who's the 4th guy? It's Durant, Spells, Horton, and who's the other one? 1 or 2 out of not 4, yeah. Oh, Horton may be pushing it back. Okay. I will tell you one thing. I'm very confident that one of those 4, which is Zane Durant, I think he's Leighton Nelson. That's the other. Okay, yeah. Leighton Nelson, I don't think is going to be a Cane. Solid player. I like Leighton Nelson, but I think we're going after bigger fish, if I'm being honest, in the offensive line. If Horton pushes it back, okay. If that happens, then there's only 3 announcing: Nelson, Spells, and Durant. I think we get Durant. He just got a couple of crystal balls in his favor. And I think we have, again, an okay shot at Spells over the last couple months. A month and a half ago, I think I was saying, oh, Spells is a lock. I am not saying that anymore. Could we get him? Sure. I think he's definitely in play. He's definitely in play, but I don't know. I'm not feeling nearly as confident as I was as before. I think the team in the lead right now might be West Virginia. But we could land him. So I think we're going to land 1 out of 4 for sure, possibly 2 out of 4. If we get Spells, I think that's a massive victory for this class. I don't know if you guys agree. He's only been playing cornerback for 1 year. I understand that. But major upside. He has elite speed. And he's at American Heritage going up against those monsters every day, like Brandon Innes, like Santana Fleming. He goes up against studs every day, and they make each other better. So Spells would be a huge victory, but Zane Durant, who I'm very confident we're going to get as of right now, I like him. Jess Simpson likes him, and that dude knows D linemen better than anybody. So I think at the end of 4th of July weekend, we will have at least one solid commitment from a great player, maybe two. Calicane. Earl Jr. wants to join the class. Do we not take Fagans or Graves, or do we create a position like Star or Roger to fit him in the class? Honestly, I don't know if Earl is that high on their board. And if I had to make a board right now, which is funny, some of us on our chat were talking about this earlier today. If I had to make a board of the corners that I would want, obviously, you got Rodgers already. He's on the boat. I would say Earl is behind a few guys. He's behind Fagans and Graves, honestly, in my opinion. If, looking at their film and who I would want on this defense, Earl Little's, he's a stud. He's a great talent. But, I mean, the cornerback class is so loaded. I would put Fagans ahead of him, and I would put Graves ahead of him. Maybe even Spells. We'll see. But creating a position for him, that's interesting because I've heard people say that he could be more of a slot corner. But we already have striker, which, I don't know if, like the star is also the striker. And striker for us in our defense is more of a linebacker. Earl Little does not have that kind of size. So I don't think he fits this defense. Great player. Wish him well wherever he goes. It's probably going to be Bama. He's going to be great there. But I think there's guys that are going to be great and fit better here. A lot of the schools Horton was talking cooled on him, so he may delay. I'm assuming that's why he's delaying. Makes sense. 2 out of 3. I hope it's 2 out of 3, man. I read Singletary was FaceTiming with T-Rob while at OSU. Then Singletary says Monday. Media doesn't know crap. Your opinion? Yeah, that's some murky water there. It's definitely, there's some stories not lining up with each other. That's for sure. I always like to say the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But I'm sure Max can fill us in on that. He has his finger on the pulse with stuff like that. Striker is changing into more of a nickel now. Yeah, no, good point. I mean, but I'm saying that nickel, it usually is a bigger player. I don't know unless Earl Little can put on some serious weight. Media claimed he was shutting his recruitment down. That's what his post was about. Yeah, that's what it was. The media said he was shutting his recruitment down. But you know what? I don't take a lot of these things. I don't read too much into because, I'll give you an example. Not to call the kid out. I wish him well. I hope he does well. But a recent commit to FSU, Omar Graham. If you look back, we interviewed him on one of our Sunday shows, and Flo asked him, "Oh, what about this FSU crystal ball?" And he was like, "I don't know where that came from." Now, maybe he didn't have any interest in FSU at the time, but look what happened. He ends up with FSU. So you never know. This recruiting thing is crazy. It could take a turn. Like things can change tomorrow completely. He couldn't refute that he was on FaceTime because it was public on Insta Live. Well, there you go. Yeah, and that's not something he can refute. And it's conflicting stories. Obviously, if he's on FaceTime with T-Rob, how could he be shutting down his recruitment? And Ohio State just took another cornerback commitment today. So that's something. With Avante. Stevenson was playing a lot in the slot in Georgia. Yes, he was, and that's probably his best position, being the more physical guy. But I mean, we may need him on the outside unless Blades or Ivy really develop. But guys, yes, please keep the questions coming. Need that pipeline to Heritage? Yes, agreed. That's another reason the Spells commitment would be massive. That would be a massive, massive victory. I said, Flo and I both said a few weeks ago, if you had to pick 2 guys that you need in this class, I think both of us said Wes and Spells. So Yeah, definitely Spells would be a huge get. If he doesn't land here, we do have other options. You got Fagans, you got Graves. Graves is another guy I'm very confident that he'll end up here. At least how it stands right now. So those are the July 4th ones. So yes, I think 1 out of 4, possibly 2 out of 4. As for the other ones, you got Chris Graves July 9th. And a lot more announcing besides that. Let's see. Here's the updated list. You got Durant Spells, Mario Eugenio, July 5th. I know we're on his radar, but I'm not super confident there. Demario Tolan, that's another big one. Demario Tolan, July 8th. That was one that a couple weeks ago we were like, he's interested in Clemson. That, he's probably going to be a Clemson Tiger. But in recent weeks, he's been, tweeting a little bit more about Miami. And then now he goes to Paradise Camp and, supposedly had great conversations with, John Beeson and, got to meet Calais Campbell and guys like that. I mean, for a young guy like Demario Tolan, Calais Campbell's still in the league. So it's not like it's a dude from the past that's irrelevant. That dude, that's a multiple-time Pro Bowler right there. Sent you what I have. Okay. Let's see what Max just sent me. Hold, please. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that's the new list I was looking at. Okay. Graves, July 9th. Nick Cole, July 12th. I think we land him as well. Let's see. I think we're sleeping on Blades. I think he will be our best corner this year. That's interesting because there's a lot of fans that are in the Blades camp that think he's the best corner. There's a lot of fans that are more Ivy fans that think he's the best corner. I'll be honest. They both underperformed. They've both shown flashes. However, DJ Ivy has he just has that range and that length that NFL teams like. I know they really like him already as a prospect. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how Blades bounces back from the myocarditis, and how if he adds a little strength to his frame and how they develop under DVD and T-Rob. That's the other thing. And I heard, yes, Ivy has a pick every single spring practice. I heard he's been playing very well. I remember seeing some highlights. Tyreek, yes, is our best corner, 100%. I agree. I was talking outside of that. I was talking like last year's corners. But yes, Tyreek is the best corner, and you kind of have to have him on the outside, as I was saying before. Javier was saying, oh, he played slot at Georgia. Yeah, ideally you want him in the slot, but we don't have that luxury. Unfortunately, you got to put him on the outside. I see Miami getting 7 committed in July. I think it's going to be 6. I don't care who does whatever, just win. Exactly. Atlanta Kane, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Chug Mo Beer. One of my favorite fans. What's going on, man? What's up, John? Let's go Canes. So you would pick Spells over Singletary, Fagans, and Graves? Yeah, we were talking about this. Spells and Singletary to me are very similar in that they have super high ceilings. They have a little bit of work to do. Super high ceilings, though, both of them. I mean, all 4 of those guys. Man, I would pick Spells over. If I had to choose right now, like gun to my head, probably pick Spells over Graves. Might pick him over. It's closer between him and Fagans. That is really tough. That's a coin flip. And over, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I might pick him over those 3 guys. I might. I just really love Spells' upside and his speed, and If we can create that pipeline from American Heritage, that's a big reason why. John, who do we flip? Ooh, okay. Okay, this is an interesting one. So I was saying, and some of you probably going to say I'm nuts and say that no, that's never going to happen. And you know what? This young man, this particular guy, is probably not coming to Miami. But let's just say after Paradise Camp, I would not be shocked if we flip him. Now, when I say flip, he's not committed anywhere right now that I know of. But I know Miami's not like in his top choices. But the guy I'm talking about is Marvin Jones Jr. Let me tell you why. There's a couple reasons. Number one, Paradise Camp. I heard he had a great time. I think he got to talk to Jaleel Phillips, which for a guy like him, who's better to talk to than Jaleel Phillips right now, who just got drafted in the first round. And you have that. I'll probably talk to a bunch of other legends. You have that, and also the whole throwing down the U thing. I think after that happened with Wes, it kind of backfired a bit on social media. And honestly, I think it makes FSU look a little desperate. That's my perspective on it. I think it hurt FSU more than it helped them. And I think we made more of an impression on Marvin Jones Jr. than people realize. I think earlier today or yesterday, he tweeted something in Canes gear, which he doesn't do often. Because obviously his dad's an FSU legend. So that's going to be a very hard flip. We got some work to do there, but could it happen? I think it could. Can you imagine him and Shamar Stewart? What's up, Flo? What's going on, my brother? Drive safe, by the way. It's wet out there. Terrence Jenkins, do we land all three linebackers? By all three, I'm assuming you mean Wesley, Devon Jackson, and Demario Tolan. I think we get 2 out of 3. I think we get Wes. That's almost a lock, in my opinion. I think we're in a very, very good spot for Wes. Between Tolan and Jackson, man, that's tough. I think I am more confident in Jackson right now because I think we made, kind of like with Marvin Jones, I think we made an even bigger impression on Devon Jackson because he said that he didn't feel like he was going to belong in a Miami locker room, living amongst Miami people because he's from Nebraska. He doesn't feel like he's a Miami guy. But then all of a sudden he visits and he's, night and day difference. He got to talk and hang out with players and coaches. He felt at home. He felt like he fit in. I mean, what's bigger than that? Feeling like you feel at home in that locker room. I mean, that's huge. So yeah. And not just that, he pushed his commitment date back. I mean, that's pretty telling. So obviously we're fresh in his mind. Now, once the emotions died down and it comes to a decision, ASU or us, I think a combination of his amazing visit, which caused him to put his decision back a couple weeks, plus the scandals going on at ASU, I just think there's too much all of a sudden in our favor with Devon Jackson. I think we got a lot of momentum there. I think we land him. But I think we're more likely to land him than him and Tolan. Now, if we get all three, Tolan, Wes, and Jackson, I'm ecstatic. I would be very, very excited, and I think that would totally change our defense for the next 2 to 3 years. Totally change our defense. And I say 3 because I think those guys go to the league early. I think they're that good. Let's see. Do we land the tight end? Like the tight end that's committed to FSU? Is that what you mean? Let's see what else. Just win and they will come. It's not rocket science. Yes, 100%. No, you got to take care of business on the field. Otherwise, some of these early commitments that you're getting, most will stick because they want to be part of what Manny's building, but you're going to have a few drop-offs and they're going to hurt. So you got to take care of business on the field. John, what's up with Kelly? Man, Kelly's an interesting one, man. He's taken all his visits. It's kind of been, all over the place because I think he decommitted from Florida State and announced that he was. Remind me what it was. He decommitted from Florida State, and like the next day or the same day said he's coming to visit Miami or something like that. Something happened that made everyone go crazy, and it was like, oh, he's a Cane for sure. And ever since then, we've had momentum, and I think we're there. He's interested in us, and we're interested in him, but it's kind of dwindled, it's plateaued a little bit, and it's just kind of there. I think we have just as much a chance as 3 or 4 other teams at Kelly. I think that's where we're at. He's kind of he's keeping quiet. We flip Singletary. I would like that very much, sir. That's one of those guys, again, a huge upside. I believe he's a 5-star recruit. Some of that is because of upside and because Ohio State loves him and all that. But Ohio State knows what they're doing when recruiting players. So Jaheim Singletary is a stud. If we got 3 corners and he wants in, you take 4 corners. If that means you take 1 less lineman, 1 less receiver, so be it. You want to load up that cornerback room so that corner and linebacker, this crap is never a problem ever again, because I'm sick of it already. Let's see. Oh, the tight end that crystal ball to FSU. Man, I'm not sure. I think our main tight end targets right now are the kid from Nevada, I believe, Caden Helms, who I think the other team that's really in the lead for him is Oklahoma. So I think our targets are him and Jaleel Skinner. And then there's a couple other guys below that I think are plan Bs. He's saying, oh, Jaleel Skinner got a crystal ball to FSU? I did not know that. Okay, Terrence, you're talking about Skinner. All right, glad we're on the same page. Really? Okay, maybe that's, you know what? I mentioned it earlier that when he says he's going to shock the world, and I think he was taking a visit, so that maybe that's him shocking the world that he's going to a 3-win team. But hey, listen, best of luck wherever he goes. But man, I'd be a little surprised if he goes to FSU. I don't think he's going to pull that big of a swerve. Then again, he said he's going to shock the world, so I don't know. It could be anything. I like where we're at with Jaleel Skinner. Let me put it that way. If I had to put a percentage on it, maybe 30% chance, 35% chance we land him. He got like 8 crystal balls to FSU a few weeks ago, so I think that's shocking the world. Good point. Okay. I was thinking shocking the world because FSU's not very good. That's how I thought of it, but they got a solid recruiting class, I'm not going to lie. Do you think we have a shot with Anthony Lucas? That's a weird one because I know he's dead set on playing defensive end, and he's a huge guy. He's 6'5", 270 or something like that. He's defensive. He's a Miami defensive tackle size, but he wants to play D-end. It's hard to predict. Like, do you just bring him in and, chips fall where they may? Well, then he might transfer, We'll see. I think there's a shot for sure, but I think Jess Simpson loves athletic 3-technique style D tackles that he can move around. Elijah Roberts, for example, RJ McIntosh, somebody, Jared Harrison Hunt. He likes guys like that. Anthony Lucas is kind of in that mold physically. So yeah, I think we have a shot at him, but does he fit? I mean, if he agrees to be versatile, maybe there's something there. Randy, so John, he was crystal ball to FSU for a week. The recent shock the world after Paradise could be good news. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, he said it right after Paradise camp. So I don't know. King David, what's going on, man? Do you think we land Wesley? Yes. Simple answer, yes. I think Wesley, that is our game to lose. We are in the lead. We can get in our own way on that one. Talking about Skinner. Oh, which recruit is playing the media? That's a good question. What do you guys think? Which recruit is playing the media right now? Because Max says it's Shamar. Whatever that means, I just hope he ends up in Miami. That's all I hope it means. Agreed, yes. 3 weeks. Oh, yeah, had it for 3 weeks. I'm going to say the littles. I'll just leave that one there for a minute. Yeah, so what else, guys? Let's see. Graves and Durant, we already addressed them. They got crystal balls to Miami this week. I'm very confident we land them. I think let's see the updated list. I think by the end of July, so these are the guys that are committing in the month of July. You ready? Cam Williams, July 1st. I don't think we land here. Markeith Williams, July 1st. I don't think we land here. Isaiah Horton might be pushing it back, but I'm pretty confident on that one. That could be a guy we get. Jacoby Spells, on the fence. Leighton Nelson, no. Zane Durant, yes. Demario Tolan, probably, possibly, yes. Graves, yes. Nick Cole, yes. Jordan Allen, pretty sure, yes. Daughtry Richardson, yes. And Devon Jackson, whenever he announces it's either going to be this month or next month, most likely, possibly yes. So how many did I say yes for? Like 7? I'm saying 6 or 7 come out of these announcements in July. Flo, are you saying he's an O-lineman? Must be talking about Shamar. Let's see. I'm going to say the littles. Zach, what's going on, brother? Good to see you on the chat. So yeah, by the way, 51 people on the chat, 52 now. Thank you guys, much appreciated. Please hit the like button if you have not done so already. Let's see, you went Kane 1. I have a great feeling about this year's recruiting class. Go Canes, 100%, man. I was saying it earlier, I love this new style of, they want to, yeah, Zach sighting, absolutely. I think he's so busy with work and school and stuff. He'll pop in like my stream ends around 8. He'll pop in at like 7:57 usually, but this time he's early. At Bosworth, what's going on, man? Great month of 6 or 7 commit. That's what I'm thinking. 6 or 7. Any combination of those players I just listed, I'll take them all. They're all super talented. But yeah, I'm loving this new style of almost, I don't want to say cherry picking necessarily, but they're not going by the star ratings. They're going by film, and how they fit the team. You can tell that's where they're going first because Landon Ibieta, he might be a 3-star recruit right now, but he's going to get bumped up to 4. You mark my words. That dude he's going to make a huge impact on this team. You just wait. Huge impact on this locker room. He's a leader. They are really, Manny's being super careful on each guy that he gets. So far, the 3 guys we got, Ja'Cory Brown, Kamari Rogers, and Landon Ibieta, are all guys that fit this team perfectly. They're all great players with great film and high upside as well. They all have high ceilings. These are all, no 3 of these guys are consolation prizes, okay, is what I'm trying to say. He got the 3 guys he wanted. And rest assured, the 6 or 7 guys we get this month are 6 or 7 guys that Manny, he wants that guy. It's not just, he's interested, okay, I guess bring him in. We need another guy. No, none of that. None of that happening right now. All dogs, exactly. They're all dogs. And dog is just something those kids have in them. I don't think it could be taught. It's something, it's a little something extra you see on film. It's a little something you see on Friday nights when the lights are on. I think Manny's looking for a specific breed of player, a lot like Butch was. Manny thankfully doesn't have this issue, but Butch only had a certain allotment of scholarships. I think one year he only had like 11 or 13 scholarships to give. I think it was the year he got Santana Moss and Dan Morgan and all those guys. He was very careful, very selective on who he got. And that's what Manny's doing right now, and I love it. I need 10 commits by August 1st. 7 plus the 3 we got, yeah, that will bring us to 10. How many wide receivers we take? I think 3. Landon plus, Quan Lee's gone now. Likely we'll end up with UCF. Hope he does very well over there. Landon, Horton, and I would love to believe it's Horton and Gibson, but I think that's too much wishful thinking. It's probably going to be either or. And the other guy, we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if we take 2 also to leave room for another O lineman or a 4th linebacker or a 4th if we, if Singletary wants in, a 4th corner. So I think we take, to answer your question, Terrence, no more than 3. It might go down to 2. Never know. I think we got a lot of guys at receiver. John, what I miss? Usual Canes talk, man. You didn't miss anything too groundbreaking. Let's see. Oh, end of July. Welcome to Old Trash Talkers. In about their great recruiting class. Yeah, I see them. I saw some funny stuff on Twitter, some funny edits that somebody made like an FSU championship banner of best recruiting class in June or something like that. That was hilarious because that was us in years past. In May or June, we'd have the #1 recruiting class, and then little by little, guys would start dropping off because they would take a visit to Bama, and then all of a sudden, they're ghosting us. Everybody a dog, they just different breeds, Pedro. Yeah, 100%. Heard Quan Lee is working as a third-party vendor for El Dorado. I think he's got like this moving company or something that he's working on. Hey, good for him. Kid's an entrepreneur. I like it. Nothing wrong with it. Who will be the biggest surprise not to sign with us? Ooh, okay. Oh, that's a good one, Terry. Good question. Damn, because the ones I'm confident about, I'm really confident about. I'm trying to see who might surprise me. I guess one dude that could surprise me is Daughtry because I'm hearing a lot of, FSU might be in the lead for him, which I don't know. I don't see it. I see him as a Cane, honestly. Look at it. His profile picture has been, I think it still is on Twitter, him in Canes gear. So, yeah, man. I think Daughtry might be the one that surprises everybody. Shamar. I hope it's not Shamar. Dante Anderson. Dante Anderson at this point wouldn't surprise me if he goes somewhere else. Horton, that wouldn't be too much of a shocker. I'm fairly confident we get him, but if we don't get him, then it's probably Gibson that we get. That wouldn't shock me. That would shock me. Ja'Cory Brown, yeah, no, he ain't going nowhere. Maiden Dave, don't worry. I would be in an ambulance. You'd have to revive me if we lost him. That would suck. Let's see, 4 corners, 3 line. Let's see, 4 linebackers for 2 spots. We need 4 corners and 4 linebackers. We don't necessarily need 4 linebackers. I think if you get those 3, Tolan, Wes, and Jackson, I'm good with those 3. I don't think you need other guys because, look, you got Chase Smith, who is going to be a problem, an absolute problem at linebacker. I don't know if he settles in the middle. He's probably more of an outside backer. You got Keontre Smith, who moved to the weak side and looked very good in the spring game. And who else? Deshaun Troutman. You could play some in the middle. You still got Corey Flagg for a couple more years in all likelihood. You still got Avery Huff. And who knows? God, I'm blanking on his name right now. The other linebacker that played his ass off against Louisiana Tech in the bowl game. Oh, my God. Why am I blanking on his name right now? This is what happens when you hit your 30s, folks. Don't do it. But you know who I mean. the other linebacker that I mean that has the turf toe issue, what if he gets healthy all of a sudden? Now you got another guy there. So there's guys that could develop. Sam Brooks, thank you. Jesus, why? How did I forget his name? Yes, Sam Brooks. You guys were probably screaming at your monitors while I was fumbling with that name. Yes, Sam Brooks. Thank you, guys. Yeah, you got all those guys kind of waiting in the wings. Plus, you get these 3 studs in. Guys will emerge. The cream will rise to the top. I think that's enough raw material to go moving forward. But then just don't make the same mistake that Mark Richt made, that you get Shaq, Pinckney, and McLeod, and then you barely recruit the position the next couple of years. No, you got to keep bringing in 2-3 guys every year. Let's see, 60 days out versus Bama. Oh, as of July 4th. It's right around the corner, folks. As of today, 66 days. 66 days until kickoff. Love Chase. Me too, man. I love Chase Smith. Love that dude. That guy's going to be a monster. I've said this comparison before. He reminds me a lot of a bigger Kenny Phillips. If Kenny Phillips played on the Canes today, which would be amazing, first of all, but if he played on the Canes today, Kenny Phillips would be a striker, probably a linebacker. They'd probably ask him to put on 5 or 10 pounds and, drop down. He'd be perfect in this defense playing that position. Thank you, Taz. Hit that like button, folks, please. Up to 61 in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. Age, John. Yeah. Those mid-30s, my friend. All right. You were expecting a higher standard from the Florida. I never expect a higher standard from them. Nah, developing linebackers has been a disappointment. True, it has. I'm just saying, with the 3, if you bring in those 3 studs, you don't need to bring in more because you have other guys as well. With all that competition, I think you got a solid core. You don't have to bring in a 4th guy because remember, you only have a certain amount. You got to use that in another position, maybe. If you can add to a position, maybe offensive line. You can never have. I'm of the opinion you can never bulk up the trenches enough. O-line, D-line, load up. Because, guys get nicked up, guys transfer, guys get a bad knee, all that stuff happens, especially in the trenches. John, what's the importance in the recruiting ranking for the Canes this cycle? Honestly, Flo, this year, I'm not looking at it. Honestly. I think we'll end up with a top – it could be anywhere from a number 15 class to, a number 3 or 4 class. If we have a magical season, we go 10-2, 11-1, and maybe we grab, in addition to the guys I want, like Shamar and all those guys, we grab a Skinner, a Singletary, who else? A Marvin Jones. If you get a few extra elite guys that were impressed with what we did on the field, yeah, we can have a top 5 class, 100%. But in all likelihood, it'll be like a back end of the top 10, maybe 12, even as low as 15. Because honestly, here's the thing. A lot of the guys that we want for example, Landon Ibieta, not rated as high as he should be. But that's okay. We don't care about that. We know how good he really is, and we know how well he fits this program. That's not going to necessarily reflect, now that his ranking could change later, I don't know. But that's not going to necessarily reflect later. Or not necessarily reflect now, in the recruiting ranking. So we could have let's say a number 14 recruiting class, but get everybody that we want that fits this program, and we develop them to exactly what we want, and we start winning. So that's my long answer. The short answer is I don't think it's as important this year because, like I said, we're looking for dogs. We're looking for the guys that jump out on film, like a Nick Cole that is just now getting attention from the bigger programs. But for whatever reason, no one noticed him before, and we kind of swooped in and, hopefully we'll grab him. Because I believe he announces the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, on the weekend of the 12th. We don't know the exact day. I agree with that. I just hope to see better development in linebacker. I still feel the changes on the staff is the biggest question mark, defensive side of the ball. Let's touch on that really quick because a lot of people, excuse me one second, a lot of people were down on Coach Packey, the linebacker coach, because he was kind of lumped into the whole Banda Baker situation. It was just the standard on defense was not what it should be, specifically at linebacker. And I'm sure Shaq Quarterman himself would tell you that. Like, you know, it just was not what it should be. But Coach Packey by himself, the players love him, recruits love him. I think the dude is a solid coach by himself. Let's see how he does, because you got him and then you got Coach Ish coaching the strikers. And then he's helping with recruitment, you know, strikers and linebackers. I think we made a major upgrade there in the coaching staff, and I think it's going to help development because the quickest way to help guys develop is to light a fire under their butt by bringing in a more talented guy. That's one quick way to develop a guy is to wake his ass up. Like, hey, this dude's going to take your job. What are you going to do? Sometime the right player will wake up. Who will be a surprise commit that you wouldn't think could happen? One that would be a surprise would be, hold on, let me pull up his name. I don't know what is wrong with me today. FSU commits. The 5-star corner that's committed to FSU right now. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he might, you know, FSU might lose him. He might flip to Miami. I don't know. The dude is let's see. I'm not seeing him. Oh, 2022. Duh. Hang on. Hold, please. Travis Hunter. Thank you. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter would be one that would surprise me. Because I heard that the dude is a big FSU fan, like a lifelong FSU. Yes, thank you, Calicane. Travis Hunter, lifelong FSU fan. He's probably one of those like a Duke Johnson that we came off a 6-6 season, but Duke was like, I don't care. I'm a Cane for life. That's the school I'm going to. I think Travis Hunter is one of those, but you know, you got the little rumors that we might flip him after we kick FSU's ass or something. I don't know. I think he's staying with FSU, but if that one would surprise me. Let's see what else. Coral Gables just pushing the goalpost back. Why do you say that? I got to catch up with this. Hit that null button. I know he means hit the like button, so hit that like button, please. Let's see. Wiggins and McLeod are the ones that absolutely need to leave. No, I don't like to be mean to the young men, but yeah, they're part of that class that leftover, you know, some of those leftover back end Mark Richt guys that just didn't develop. I think the program is going to be cleansed of a lot of those players going into 2022. That's why Flo keeps saying, oh, watch out, national title 2022. I can see why, Flo. I would say more playoffs. I think 2022 we could compete with a Clemson for the ACC title, which puts us on a playoff as a playoff caliber team. I just don't think at that time we'd have the horses to get to the playoffs, win a playoff game against an elite opponent, and then win the championship against another elite opponent back to back. I don't think we would have the horses to do that in 2022. Would we be in the Final Four or you know, whatever the playoff system is going to be in 2022? Sure. I think we'll be there next year. Striker was good last year. I'm still waiting on my donation. Oh, that's funny. Tate Martell, LMAO. Yeah, we're still LMAOing on that one. Mike Norvell got the state/ACC on notice. Slingshot up to the number 3 in recruiting. All right, whatever you say, man. Whatever you say, 86. Sam McCall. Let's see. Travis Hunter. Yeah, I will admit, 86, you guys got a solid recruiting class. It surprised me a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be shocking anybody this year. Unless if they make a bowl game, hey, that would shock me. I do not see more than 5 wins on that schedule for FSU. Sorry to say. I hope Packy and Ish can change the direction. I just want to see it translate on the field. That's what I'm thinking. I think we see a definite change at that position and more of a change moving forward because they're going to bring in the guys they want. Definition of facts to FSU fanatics are different. Wide left, wide right. I was at both of those. I was at wide left. I was at wide right 3. I was not at 1 or 2. I was too little. I think I was 5 for wide right 2. But my older brother and my dad were at wide right 2. Playoffs? Yes, sir. Hey, Flo, are you in the chat right now? Tell VLKV what you think, man. Yes. 2022 is going to be a big year for the Canes. You see. Assuming quarterback play stays on par, which I think it will. I think that's Jake Garcia's year, in my opinion. I think we have the horses to make a run, at least for a playoff spot. I really do. Go get a Gator fan in the house. Terry, if you getting chippy up in here. Damn, Noel just can't stop checking on us. Rent free in your head, bro. You said it, not me, man. 73 in the chat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like button. I can't see right now how many likes there are because I don't have the second window open with YouTube. But please do hit that like button. I appreciate it. Flo, where you at, man? Waiting for you to respond. You must be getting to this house or something. Let's see. What else we got to talk about? Something I kind of – awesome. It's been a long time. Thank you. Listen, yeah. It's been a long time since we've been at that level, man. It looked like we were getting back to that in 2017, but I think it was I don't want to say it was smoke and mirrors. I know Cam on Mark Rogers' show says that a lot. I don't think it was smoke and mirrors. I think we honestly had a very good team. I didn't like the offensive scheme. Quarterback play wasn't great. But defense played out of their minds. Good kicker, good special teams, all that stuff. I think in 2017 we were good but not great. I think it all came together in the Notre Dame game. We just had the perfect defense to stop their running attack, and we just got hit with injuries. Injuries killed us in 2017. You lose Mark Walton early in the season, who would have helped us down the stretch tremendously. That guy was the heart and soul of our offense. You lose Chris Herndon, NFL tight end, who really started to come on late in the season. You lose Ahmad Richards, who, had he stayed healthy, in my opinion, was a first-round talent. You lose those 3 weapons on offense. I mean, those 3 guys are healthy, you beat Pittsburgh. No question. Yep. Had no stud QB. Yeah. No, that was a good team, man. They got killed with injuries towards the end. Part of it was because, remember, we had a game rescheduled because of a hurricane. Hurricane Irma passed through, and we had to use our bye week like in week 2. So we had to play like 10 or 11 consecutive weeks. I think our team was just burnt out. Not making excuses, because honestly, the elite teams, they have the depth to survive that, and it doesn't matter. So we're trying to get back to that. But I think that and injuries, I think it all helped us. Loss to pitch shouldn't have happened. Amen. I agree. I 100% agree. It was a combination of quarterback play and I just did not like Rick's play calling in 2017. You know where I liked it? The last 5 games of 2016, where he just told Brad Kaya, screw it, go 5 wide, go 4 wide, and just have fun. He should have kept doing that. He didn't do enough of it late in the year. Let's see. We're close to being back. On our way. We're on our way. Remember, guys, it takes time. All right, guys, we're going to be on for a few more minutes. 72 in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And midnight, yes, I was going to touch on that. Thank you. I got sidetracked. The NIL does go into effect. The image and likeness ruling does go into effect at midnight, which means basically college players can profit off their name, their name and likeness. So I don't know. It's about to get real interesting. And of course, that law goes into effect here in the state of Florida, which eventually it's going to go into effect everywhere, but gives us an advantage in recruiting, a huge advantage. That Notre Dame game felt like a natty game. Oh, man, it was great. That was such a fun day. Whenever I'm bored, I pull up the highlights of that game every once, or the Virginia Tech game from that year. Those were a couple of fun weeks. So Nkosi will be balling. Nkosi? Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Rick should have stuck with Nkosi in 2018. That's what I think. I think Jalen Rivers will be a freshman All-American. Him, Navon, going to open some holes this year. I like that. Let's end with that. Let's make a couple bold predictions right now. What do you think is going to happen in 2021? Jalen Rivers will be a freshman All-American. I think that's a safe bet. I don't think that's too bold of an assumption. But man, him and Navon at guard, I am very excited about that. I think our running game will take a big step forward. You may not see it against Bama because it's Bama, but be patient, guys. Wait till week 2, 3, 4 when we're playing, the lower competition. You're going to see our running game takes a huge jump. Orange Bowl. What about that's your, okay. Yes, that's your prediction. Orange Bowl. Okay. Listen, that's doable because remember, Orange Bowl, you don't necessarily have to win the ACC. Clemson is pretty much in the playoff every year. And the way it works is ACC champion gets an automatic bid to the Orange Bowl unless they go to the playoff, which they would go, obviously they would go there, and the runner-up, which let's say would be us if we win the Coastal and lose to Clemson, then we go to the Orange Bowl, which is what happened in 2017. I can see Orange Bowl happening this year, absolutely. 10-1 New Year's Bowl again. Actually, we played 12 regular season games, so do you mean 10-2 or 11-1, Richard? New Year's Bowl again. An Orange Bowl is a New Year's Day and a New Year's Six Bowl. Orange Bowl. I like these predictions. ACC title game versus Clemson. That is the goal. I will consider this a very successful season. If we win the Coastal and make it back to that ACC title game and we're at least competitive, we at least go toe-to-toe with them, I will consider this a very successful season. And we're landing Shamar Stewart for sure if that happens. 11-1. Okay. 11-1. Okay. Listen, man, on paper, yes, we could do it, and we got the veterans. And veterans are what you need to get through that week to week of, you got a big game against North Carolina, and then the next week you got, I don't know who we play after them, but you got to maintain that focus no matter who the opponent is every week. And you need veterans on your team to be able to do that. Like we did in 2000 and 2001. We had a lot of seniors on those teams. So maybe that could happen. 10-2 bowl win. I don't like predicting wins in bowl games anymore just because they've become glorified exhibition games, which I hate because I still love bowl season. I've loved it since I was a kid. I still love it. So I'm saying we're going to go 10-2. I like that prediction. I will say 10-2, win the Coastal, and we go to the Orange Bowl. That's my prediction for this season. I predict we beat Texas A&M in the Orange Bowl. Ooh, I like it. Texas A&M in the Orange Bowl. And that's interesting because guess who we play in 2022 at College Station? Texas A&M, that very same team. 9-3, hope it. Les, man, I want bold predictions. That's not a bold prediction. Give me bold, put yourself out on a limb a little bit. Live a little. Do you believe in Manny as a long-term head coach? I do. Honestly, I see a lot of similarities between him and Butch. I really do. I mean, there's some strengths that Butch, he had an amazing staff. Amazing staff with Solinger and Kehoe and Coker and Shianu. They developed guys. Manny's now starting to build a quality staff like that. So I think he has that. And man, look, I don't think Dabo Swinney's the greatest game day coach of all time. But you know what he's been doing? He's been, just planting those seeds. He's been, just plowing and plowing and plowing the last 8-9 years. And look what Dabo has built. Give him enough time, give him a chance, and they'll get there. Remember, Dabo lost 70-something to 3 or something like that to West Virginia in his second or third year. Got Brent Venables, and, they were off and running. So, this is year 3 for Manny. Maybe this is the year he's off and running. We'll see. He's definitely learned. He's definitely had to learn on the job. So I think he's developed. He's not the same coach he was 2 years ago. I can already tell that. You get to see TVD or Garcia in the bowl game. Ooh, oh, that's bold. Javier, are you a couple drinks in? I think that's very bold. Let's see what else. 12-0. That's borderline unrealistic, but okay. I like it. I like the energy. Let's do a couple more. King for Heisman. Ooh, I think he's going to be in the discussion. We'll see. Unless we get totally embarrassed week 1, I don't think he'll be in the discussion. But hopefully that does not happen. I'm in agreement with Richard. 11-1, but that's one loss is not. But that one loss is not against who you think it is. Ooh, let's end on that. I like that prediction. 11-1, but the loss is not who you think it's going to be. Who do you think it's going to be, Greg? That's my next question. Because if we beat Bama, if we beat Bama and let's say we lose to North Carolina, I would be totally okay with that because that is a program-defining win. Lost to North Carolina, whatever. We won all our other games, including the defending national champs. The only way I wouldn't take that, though, is if the loss is to FSU. Can't accept that, ever. Michigan State, okay. So you think your bold prediction is we beat Bama, we play our next couple of games, and we lose to Michigan State. That would be a very Kane thing to do. Unfortunately, I could totally see that. But if that's our only loss, hey, we beat UNC, we beat FSU, Virginia Tech. I mean, we would obviously win the Coastal. I would take Greg. I would take that right now. Yep, exact. See, same brain. I would take that to the bank right now. The only one I would not, FSU, no, can't accept the loss to them. All right, guys, we went a little over an hour, but thank you so much. We actually hit 80-something in the chat at one point. Guys, thank you. Much appreciated. As always, tune back in at, not on my channel, on the Canes Inside channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to have a great show lined up for you guys. So I'm going to log off, get some rest. Have a good night, Canes fans. As always, it's all about the U. Big weekend coming up in recruiting. Hope we land a couple of guys. Go Canes.